welcome everybody. Welcome to Advancing Our Church, the Changing Our World podcast about Catholic stewardship, leadership, and advancement. I'm Jim Friend. I'm the host of Advancing Our Church, and with me today, as always, are the wonderful Anna Vallez from Changing Our World. Welcome, Anna.
Good afternoon, everyone.
And Fred Roberts, Managing Director of Changing Our World. Welcome, Fred.
Hello, thanks, Jim.
So what's the weather like in your neck of the woods, guys? Everything good?
In Carlsbad, it's beautiful. We're going to have I think Santa Ana winds. It's about 75 right now.
Oh, I can see the sunshine pouring through the California sunshine pouring through those windows, Anna. It's making me jealous. It's crazy. We've had some cold weather in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
How's the weather in Cleveland there, Fred?
Well, I can't say this very often, Jim, but it's sunny in Cleveland today, so we're happy about that.
Cleveland.
We got this big lake that keeps it cloudy here most of the time, but we had a huge storm here 2 days ago, so we welcome the sunshine today.
Good. Well, we have some wonderful, distinguished guests today. We'll start with Rebecca Alcaries. Rebecca, why don't you let us know where you're from and what school you work for?
Hi, thanks. My name is Rebecca Archdiocese. I'm the Development Director in West Seattle, Washington for Our Lady of Guadalupe, and we're a preschool through 8th grade Catholic schools.
Wonderful. And how long have you been in your position?
Just a year.
Nice.
A year ago, last Giving Tuesday.
Oh, hey. Did you get baptized in fire with Giving Tuesday last year? And
Yes. I threw something together really quick, and that was our first. They'd never done it before, so that was our first endeavor. So
you're a veteran. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, welcome. Paige Banks, tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name is Paige, and I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and I'm the development manager for Bellarmine Preparatory School. We are a co-ed Catholic school, 9 through 12.
Wonderful. And Allie, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm Allie Thomas, the advancement director at O'Day High School in Seattle, Washington. We are a all-boys high school. And it actually it's sunny in Seattle right now too, I have to say. So it's very, very nice to see.
Very nice. Awesome. And Trish Dougherty, my former colleague from the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. It's great to see you again, Trish. Welcome.
Hi, Jim. Good to see you. Trish Dougherty Decker. I am the Director of Advancement at St. Hubert High School here in Philadelphia. We're an all-girls high school. I'm an alum of the school. Lots of family connections. We're located in the northeast part of the city. And yes, I've known Jim when I started here. It'll be 4 years in February. Hard to believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good to see you, Trish. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you.
And Mark Burkowski is from my home city of Allentown. Mark, welcome to the program, but you're not in Allentown. You're in Colorado.
I am. I'm in Denver right now where it is 32 degrees. So it can be anything from 0 to 75 probably, but we're right in the middle. And this is where my roots really are, Colorado. But I live in Allentown. I work there at Mercy School for Special Learning. So we are a school for children and young adults with developmental and or intellectual disabilities from age 3 to 21, actually and above 21. I'm in my 4th year there, and we're excited to be in the diocese. A lot of good things happening there. We actually have 3 special learning centers there, or schools, which is unusual for any diocese, I think, because Denver doesn't have any, by the way. Right. And so we're fortunate in Allentown to have 3 in the diocese.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ministry, Mark, and like you say, very unique for a diocese to be able to offer that kind of service for Catholic education. So glad to have you on the show.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Erin, tell us a little bit about yourself. What school you're from?
Sure, I'm with St. Joseph's School in Seattle. I'm the Director of Advancement. I started here in July, so haven't been here too long, but I was with Woodland Park Zoo for about 3 years prior. And I've worked at St. Anne's School and the University of Washington. Wonderful.
Well, welcome to the show. I'm glad you joined us because now we have that perfect 9-box Brady Bunch square. So the Zoom picture is completely well balanced now that you're here, Erin. So thank you. I appreciate that. So this is just a question for the group. We're going to talk a little bit about Giving Tuesday. I'm sorry, in just a moment. But first, Fred Roberts. Fred's has been doing a little bit of research to tell us a little bit about some of the early numbers, what we've seen out there, out on the internet and through some of the news feeds. So Tell us what you found, Fred. Fred, you're on mute. Oh, am I on mute? Ah. Okay, go ahead.
He's on mute. Let's see.
Okay, I can hear you now. Sorry
There he
about
is.
that. I don't know what's going on with my audio. Fred, I'm sorry. Go ahead. The news.
Okay.
for us.
Should I start from the top?
Well,
Yes.
sure. Whatever you guys think.
Okay. I wasn't sure how long I was muted there, but just was starting with some background on I Give Catholic. It's the U.S. Catholic Church's Giving Day that kicks off the charitable season, brings the Catholic community together, and in a way to give thanks and give back. Because it does take place the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I've heard it referred to as penance after Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and there could be some truth to that. But during the I Give Catholic Giving Day, thousands of people from around the world generously give back to in support of their parishes, schools, and ministries. This year's event is making quite an impact, and I'm sure we're going to hear some great stories from our panelists today. Just pulled some stats off of the website today. More than $12 million raised from 47,000 donors. So that's fantastic. That's going to provide funding for over 1,600 ministries across the Catholic Church. So
Terrific.
Great to hear that. Right at the top of the leaderboard, Patricia and Jim, you'll be happy to hear this in your backyard. Catholic Charities in Philadelphia tops the leaderboard, raised over $437,000.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
For homelessness, housing, poverty, hunger, and education. So what a great thing that is. What a blessing.
Yeah.
Also, we heard from a friend of the podcast, Leslie Knopp, in Kansas City, Kansas. They were able to bring in $161,000 from 900 donors in support of 45 ministries.
Great.
Wow.
Here in my home diocese, the Diocese of Cleveland, we've been at this for a few years. The Catholic Community Foundation has. Last year, they raised $1.8 million in 24 hours. From the beginning, from the first time that we've done it here in our diocese, over $4 million has been raised.
Wow.
So this year, there were 235 participating schools, parishes, ministries, Catholic charity sites and programs, and other Catholic nonprofits. And there was also a bit of a wrinkle. Because there were all the organizations that participated were entered into a friendly competition to gain the most supporters and win from a $61,000 prize pool. So a little added bonus there for the participants. And great news, over $3 million was raised yesterday, and Assumption School in Broadview Heights was at the top of our leaderboard. They brought in over $300,000 and just did a great job on their website. So, Jim, I guess you could say that the season of giving back is in full swing.
I'll say, and as we know, we're now at December 2nd, and probably the biggest giving month of the year. So all these good people on our podcast today are very, very busy this month, I'm sure. And we appreciate all of you taking some time to be with us. Thanks, Fred. Those are great statistics. And, it does sound as though this may be the biggest Giving Tuesday yet. So that's exciting. Very exciting.
Jim,
So
can I add something that I was doing a little bit of research this morning just in San Diego County? And have you all heard of the double impact, triple impact notion that came with Giving Tuesday? That's where nonprofits engage board members to double whatever folks give, dollar for dollar. Triple impact is 3 to 1. So anybody that gives $1, they match that by giving 3 times the amount. And at least with the 12 nonprofits that I checked with this morning, they saw an increase of about 30% when they offered that type of an arrangement.
That's tremendous.
Wow. It is.
That's great. That's great.
So I just thought I'd add that.
That's great. So let's start out with a question to the group. Kind of going back to the very beginning. when you guys began to start to prepare for Giving Tuesday. How early did you start this process? And do you feel like you started early enough as far as your preparation time? How much lead time? I'm sure if somebody's listening to the podcast and maybe they've never tried Giving Tuesday, or maybe they've never tried a day of giving, how much lead time do you need to get one of these things started and be successful? Anybody want to take that?
I'll jump in and offer my 2 cents worth, and it might only be worth 2 cents. But here's the thing. We've never really put a concerted effort into Giving Tuesday, at least in my time there. I think out of my 4 years, we've done it, I guess, twice, maybe 3 times. And that's, so that very admission I'm making, that I don't remember how much we've done this, should be sort of indicative of the fact that we haven't really made a priority of it. But this year we did, but we got started pretty late. We have our annual gala, which was a virtual thing, like most people are doing now, in October. Then our annual report, I had to crank that out. So a lot of things converged all at once. And I thought, let's do something for Giving Tuesday. We've got to do something. And so with about, 10 to 12 days prior to Giving Tuesday, I actually worked with Jessica Edris, and we identified a need, a very specific need, which was our music therapy program, which has been impacted. It's the only enrichment program we offer right now for our kids. So it's really important. It's that much more important now than it ever was before. So that was our cause. That was our what. And then as far as the how and the putting it together, Jessica was a big part of that. But I came up with a bunch of content. She organized it. She sent the constant contact emails, the posting, and we had probably we had the best year we've ever had for Giving Tuesday, which is not, for us, it was a lot. $5,400 is a lot for us in Giving Tuesday. So that's my, our little experience.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing.
Congratulations. Anyone else? How early did you start?
I'll jump in. So last year, as I said, it was my first year here and brand new. I took the opportunity to jump into Giving Tuesday as a showcase to our school on social media, because we didn't have a really great social media platform. So I was trying to build it and build the engagement. And so every hour I featured a different grade, because our school is founded on service as well as general academics. So each class has a nonprofit they serve all year long, and they pick a different service project for that nonprofit, and they do it all year long. So I thought, what a great opportunity to showcase that, because I was learning about it at the time as a new person with the school. So each hour we showcased and then shared that nonprofit as well, so we could really partnership in the community, expand our partnerships in the community, and just give back. And so we did that last year, and so this year I wanted to do it again, but knowing with everything shut down and being remote for school as a preschool through 8 school, it's really hard on those little ones, especially. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to showcase each grade again and use it as a reminder, because I think in this time, especially in Seattle, we just went back into another season of a little bit more restrictions. So I just utilized it as a time to showcase each grade again of a positive. Mm-hmm. So something that we utilized it within each grade band to say, hey, this is what we did, even though we're remote. And so really for me, more so than the giving, which is great, and it's been growing each year, it's more in conjunction also with marketing, just to expand, to show, hey, this is what we can do as a community, and just remind people this is what we can do in spite of the circumstances. So it does take a lot of planning, because starting at 8 a.m., each grade has a different showcase, and it's about 4 to 5 social media posts an hour, which means programming that and coming up with it. So September was probably late for me. I wish I would have gotten more video. I saw Bellarmine's videos. They did a great job on their videos. I'd love to hear more about their planning on that. But being remote, it's a little hard to get those videos. So that would be one thing I would add in. So yeah, it was a great day in that we really saw some positive engagement, and more so than we ever have on our social media platforms. So it was
what great leadership, Rebecca, to be able to coordinate all that with each of those grades and each of those classes. And great buy-in from your faculty also to accomplish
To be
something
able
like
to
that.
do
So
that.
kudos to
We
you.
do. We have
Not
some
everybody
great
can get that
leaders.
kind of support. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's a team effort. So we're grateful.
Great. Anyone else? How early? Anybody start super early on this, like early fall or last week, or what do you think?
About a week and a half to 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Now, I feel fortunate because we have an excellent graphic designer that we work with a lot on a lot of our projects, and he's designed our social media and everything that's gone out through Constant Contact the last couple of years. So we're wrapping up our annual report. So we're back and forth, and I was like, put the brakes on. We have to focus on Giving Tuesday and get moving on this. Our school it's interesting. We're still 70 to 75% check driven for gifts.
Mhm.
So, Giving Tuesday is a challenge, but we're doing a lot better with engaging our younger alum. And I think it's been important, to still put out the social media and the emails, because even though all the donations we got were strictly online, we didn't count any of the checks. But yeah, we were a little late, but I was pleased with how it went. We had 6 different graphics that we put out, and the timing worked out well, and we actually surpassed our goal too. So I'm pretty happy.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I would say that we are lucky that about 2 years ago, we actually branded Giving Tuesday to our own Giving Day. So we call it Give Gold Day. And so we already kind of had a lot of things already in place for that. So we were able to focus a little bit more on some strategy with the matching dollars that we were able to get. So this year we did split our match, which was 30,000, into 2 matches. So we opened the day with a match that was tied to dollar for dollar matching, which we ended up hitting by 9:30. So next year we might need to change that a little bit, because it was a little quick there, which is amazing, but also, a little tough with some on your feet messaging, because then in the afternoon, we released our second match that was tied to number of gifts, because that's really important on a day of giving, just to involve the community. Every gift counts, $5 to however many dollars anyone wants to give that day. And so, yeah, we saw a lot of success with actually, doing both matches that way. And we as well, beyond surpassed our goals for both dollar amount and number of gifts that day. So, but I think everyone would say they all wish that they would like to start earlier than they did, because there's never time. So it is what it is.
Right, exactly. Did anybody have include any part of COVID-19 into their case for support, or how did you weave that? I see Trish is nodding her head. How did you weave that in, if you did, how COVID has been impacting your school?
I think the hardest thing for us is to use all the photos with the girls wearing masks. Here in Philadelphia, it's mandatory that we wear them inside, and it's highly recommended outside. And the city actually went to a full shutdown again on November 20th, in the sense that the Catholic schools were open, but not the public schools. So, I didn't want to, because everybody wants to see smiling faces. Everybody wants to see your kids and your students, because Giving Tuesday isn't about the building we're in. It's about the people in the building and the students. So we did use images that, it has the girls are all wearing masks, but we did, each graphic that we put out had a different word on it, like believe, commitment, gratitude, leadership, sisterhood. And the last one obviously was thank you. But, like the believe, we wrote, our students believe in better tomorrows, and your support is going to, help them get through this, especially through these challenging times. We didn't hide from it. We kind of said, you know what, we're all in the same situation. And it's hard on these kids. It's interesting though, we were slow all day with donations, and about 3:30 yesterday, I put out a graphic and had gratitude. And the other thing is, the challenge of, you can't have a lot of students in a photo, to be conscious of that. So, and the gratitude one, I'm actually looking at it. It just says, our students are grateful for your support, and we're grateful for your continued support at making a difference in the lives of our students. Your generosity is giving these young women an opportunity to succeed. We have 5 students pictured out front wearing their mask. And I'll tell you what, it took off from there. The donations just started pouring in last night. So so we embraced it. We said, this is the reality we're all living with. And people want to help. People want to make a difference. And I think that they were kind of drawn to it.
Yep.
That's good, Trish. I'll just jump in too quickly before my battery dies, which is imminent. But we worked in COVID, and as I mentioned to you all before, our music therapy program is the only the only program that remains that we can offer. We're able to do it safely, and the kids don't have to go anywhere. So we certainly incorporated that and some video imaging and some just little anecdotes that we put together. And so I think that moved people. Anyone paying attention gets it. They know that all of us are restricted. We're all restricted in major ways. So I think that moved people's hearts. We also were, happy to have more donors this year than we have in the past. So I think the lesson I'm learning is if we get started earlier, maybe we can have a bigger impact, or make it, even have a bigger event. But because of the way our events converge, our major events, it's always been challenging, but we can work ahead. And I'm learning that from all of you. It's good.
That's awesome. Anyone else work in COVID a little bit in a different way, or how did you mention it in your case for support when you were promoting Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, for Bellarmine, we certainly used it. It was kind of tricky because we always try to create a theme for our Giving Tuesday. And like last year, it was like, what are Lions thankful for, since we're the Bellarmine Lions. And this year with COVID, actually, most of the students kind of began their own tagline of like, together we are Bellarmine. So we just decided to play off of that and continue to make that part of our social media campaign and everything with Giving Tuesday. But it was very important to our VP to kind of keep donors informed of what is Bellarmine doing? Because I think there were a lot of parents, or not just parents, but even maybe former alums or people who are wondering, like, what is Bellarmine doing? And kind of this assumption that is the need not as great because we don't have students on campus right now. But it was like the exact opposite. Like our tuition assistance goal got increased by like $150,000. So now we have more money to raise. And but for us to create a message around COVID, we kind of specifically just wanted to, again, inform our donors, what have we been doing in the interim? And so when COVID hit in March, we actually the students immediately went into remote learning. They were able to graduate and everything continued full time normally. And obviously going into this school year, they're continuing to learn from home. But we slowly were able to create like pods of athletics and activities and groups. And so they were slowly starting to be allowed to come to campus. And so we kind of shared that information. But so around Giving Tuesday, we kind of took the key administrators from the school and did videos to have them do a message. So we did have like our vice principal of curriculum information. We had our vice principal of athletics and student life. We had the director of the Learning Resource Center who does the tutoring. So I thought it was really good for people to see that and hear from those people specifically. And they just gave an update. This is what Bellarmine's doing. And this is why the need is still great, because in order to continue this, we're going to need your support. So it's kind of nice to have them almost in a way give an update, but also be part of the ask. And then we still wanted to have a student voice, but that was difficult because I haven't even seen a student since March. So we were trying to think, how are we could record, I guess, have them record themselves. We've sort of done that for other things, but the leadership class actually provided a bunch of quotes from students in the class. And so our marketing communications guy did sort of a slideshow that had their student photo, and they kind of had a quote of how they're doing. And they said, although maybe the school year didn't start off so great, I'm grateful or I'm thankful for my connection with my class and being able to connect with my teacher over Zoom. And so they were able to give an update as well. That was kind of a positive spin. So I felt like donors really responded to that. And again, I think COVID, that being tied into our Giving Tuesday, worked out really well for us. So.
Well, that's terrific. Great story, Paige. Thank you. Erin, I know you have to jump off real quick. So before you do, just want to pull you into the conversation real quick here. Tell us a little bit about your day of giving. How did Giving Tuesday go at St. Joe's?
Well, I just started in July, and our annual gala was November 13th.
Oh.
So it started the day before Giving Tuesday. We really just take the day to thank our partners in the community, other nonprofits that we've worked with in a video messaging on social media. You asked about COVID, and our whole theme this fall for giving has been around building a healthy, safe, and sustainable environment. So we used that throughout our gala and worked really well. And we just kind of took a little bit of a pause and just spent it more on thanking folks, but we will continue that theme throughout the end of the year. But then looking ahead, hearing all the wonderful things that you all are doing, we will definitely have build out a timeline to be a little more proactive.
Great. Thanks, Erin. Appreciate it. Allie, I know you got to jump off as well. Any final thoughts before you have to run?
No, I really liked what Paige was saying. I mean, I know that we all miss seeing the students and we want to try to incorporate them, and it's really hard right now. So one idea that I just wanted to put out there, so we're an all boys high school. All boys or boys, high school boys don't often take great selfies or photos. So it's a struggle for us to get really good content. And so this year we actually mailed all of our students a prompt that they answered that said, brotherhood means to me. And then they just one word, and we asked them to write legibly. And then they submitted them to win a prize. It was a t-shirt that we're going to mail them as well. But we got a lot of really good responses, and we asked them to send those in the week before. So then the day of, we had a lot of content already that we could use in emails and things like that. So that was my one tip. I know there's no other all boys schools on this panel, but there might be some out there. So
yeah,
if
sure.
you're looking for content and nice photos, I would say bribery sometimes helps.
No,
Great idea. Like that idea. Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you, you guys.
Sally, thanks for being
Have a
on the
good
show.
one.
Yes,
Appreciate
thanks
it.
a lot. Nice meeting everyone.
Thank you, Erin.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Bye.
So our Brady Bunch squares are small. That's okay. I'm glad you're all still hanging in there. And Mark, you're still on. Your battery's still hanging in there.
I'm hanging in there.
That's great. We talked a little bit about storytelling, and pull Anna and Fred into this conversation a little bit as well, because with Giving Tuesday, like with any, either it's a little mini campaign, appeal, or whatever it is, it's really all about telling the story, isn't it? And what are some of the factors that you looked at when you were developing your case for support, your story around Giving Tuesday, or what was it about your school, or maybe Fred and Anna, you have some examples to share about how we tell our story around these kinds of little micro campaigns that can really, and I love what you were saying about, it sets the stage maybe for further conversations, right? So that, you're not just asking for $25 on Giving Tuesday or $100 or whatever it is, but you look at that as an opportunity to tell your story and educate them about the needs, and educate them also about the great successes that you're having. Anybody want to jump on that?
Fred, Jim, and everybody listening, I had spoken to one of my parishes this week, and I thought it was great because they brought, for Giving Tuesday, they brought 6 alumni that were at that school, and they brought them back to talk about stewardship, what they had learned about stewardship while they were going to school, what they learned about it through college, and what they're doing now. And each of the alumni talked about how they're giving back and what they do to make sure they give back. And I thought that was a great touch, that people always want to know, okay, what are the kids doing now? If they went through the school, went through the elementary, the high school. I thought thought it was a great idea. And they had a lot of people that they did an actual Giving Tuesday Zoom call for folks to call in and ask questions of others. And I just thought that was great. They did it last night, and I thought that was interesting. They found out that if they did it between 6 and 7, that would be the time that folks would be home from work if they were actually working outside of the home, that folks would be able to actually key in and listen to what they had to say. So I thought the alumni bit was really good. I also spoke to a couple of people this morning, and I wanted to ask all of you, did any of you use the new, the CARES Act, how it has changed and how that's affecting donors for Giving Tuesday? Did any of you weave that into your message? Nope. Okay.
On Tuesday night.
I never even considered that. That's a good idea. But if anyone did, I'd love to listen to how that worked out.
Yes, and what I can do is, Jim, I can send you the tagline that was used for Giving Tuesday in the schools that were here in San Diego County, so that all of you can see what they put together. And I think it was well done, saying, how giving has been affected this year, how the laws have changed that are going to allow them to take a bigger deduction this year. Yep. So I'll make sure that Jim gets this and that he can send this out to all of you and maybe put it on our Facebook page, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll include that in the show notes of this episode. So if you're listening later, you can click on the show notes and there'll be a link there.
And I'll send that along. Yeah.
That's great. Super.
And I'll get a little plug in here for the local high school here in my backyard, Elyria Catholic. They did a really nice job tying in of who they are as a faith, a school of faith, tying in Catholic tradition and how the students really live their faith and inspire others. So they did tie in COVID with some virtual activities, class retreats, living stations of the cross, Advent weekly devotions, which I think is a real opportunity, especially for Catholic schools, Catholic organizations, because it's right, at the beginning of Advent. So it's really an opportunity to draw attention to the organization, but also to really one of the greatest times in the Catholic calendar. So they did a really nice job of tying in, some of these initiatives into their case, and I thought that was something that would be good for others to consider as well.
That's great. Great, Fred. So did anybody use special software of any kind? Or, like when I worked with one of my clients this past year and we transitioned their gala into an online event. Mark, I heard you did, sounds like you did something similar. Some of you others on the show today may have done that. Anybody use that software for Giving Tuesday or for other purposes like that?
No, we didn't use it for this. But if we scale larger next year, maybe it would be appropriate to do so. But there's so many of them out there. So we would consider certainly doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Our database has donation forms already, templates for Giving Tuesday. So we just utilize that. So then it goes right in the database. I don't have to enter twice for donations. So then it all stems together with thank you notes and end of the year notes and things like that. So I just incorporated that form and then utilized, I think Giving Tuesday has some amazing resources. They have a Canva subset already of graphics. So unlike, who was it that had a graphic designer, which I would love to steal. I am the graphic designer as well. So I liked utilizing the templates that they provided through Canva because I use that program anyways. So that's a great asset. So
that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people listening also are the graphic designer as well. So you're not alone.
Many hats.
He doesn't do all of our work. I'm a big Canva fan. But we had him do it the last 3 years. And I think the consistency has helped us see our donations grow because people are familiar with it. The imaging and the messaging might change a little bit, but it's consistent. So
that's great. You know, let's talk a little about matching gifts and major gifts. I know that when we, that going back to the client that I worked with over this past year, when we converted to an online event, we use matching gifts and major gifts quite a bit to drive traffic, to drive interest, to get donors excited. I saw a lot of that this year with different organizations that were out there 2 times a match, 3 times a match. You know, did any of you use a major gift or a matching gift to leverage more gifts for your program this year?
We did not.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of, we weren't too sure about whether we wanted to do it or not. We had just done a matching gift. There was a big campaign here in June. Jim, I'm not sure if you saw it, with Faith in the Future.
Mm-hmm.
So we did use a big matching gift on that one.
Yeah.
This time we didn't. And honestly, I was overwhelmed by the support we got. I thought the donations were going to be lower, given the circumstances, you know, especially here in Philadelphia. You know, there's a lot of unemployment right now. A lot of businesses are closed. But, you know, so it was a little touch and go as far as how we were going to make out. So we didn't pursue the matching gift. Not that we're not going to do it again, because we also do a day of caring, we call it, in June, that strictly benefits our tuition assistance fund. So yeah, so we're probably going to save it for the next one.
That's great.
We typically have done a match with Bellarmine, and we didn't this year simply because we ran out of time and we didn't plan for it. But normally, yes, our VP will make some calls and kind of see if there's a donor out there willing to kind of, and mainly we usually use it to unlock a match with alumni. So typically in the past, like last year, we did unlock a $10,000 match if 10,000 was raised by alums. So, and that's usually worked for us each year, doing it that way. But it was nice to hear Allie's comments of doing 2 types of matches. I think might have to look into that next year. So, but kind of also saying, given the circumstance, the match wasn't super important to us. We made it just more so about number of gifts for any amount. So it still worked out in our favor. So yeah.
That's awesome.
That's great.
How are you guys thinking about your events as we move into 2021 and we have the possibility of vaccines and possibly beginning to slowly get back to normal, but we know that's maybe a longer horizon than we all want to admit. But how are you thinking about your special events, or do you have any special events over the next 6 months that you'll be transitioning to online events versus in-person events, or how are you thinking about the next 6 months of 2021?
Well, I'll jump in on that one because we're in the midst of our gala planning right now. And we just announced this week, I knew it was coming, but I was kind of allowing our parent team to come on board slowly, that it's going to go virtual. I think people were hanging on that maybe we can be in person for a smaller in-person event, but we just knew it was going to be better virtual. I think it's going to be even better. It just opens up our horizon. And so that's why I think Giving Tuesday is important. It starts your story. It starts hearing, showing the new donors and maybe a new audience that is now captive and looking at social media. So we're fully going virtual with a silent and a live event. We partner with a great company here in Seattle that I've done several events with, that is a production company, and they're doing a good job of keeping the costs low for nonprofits. And I appreciate that. So we're excited. I think it is going to open up some new doors for us. And as an elementary, middle school, we tend to be on the event heavy side. Like in the past, they've done, every month is a different event. And so I think sometimes the silver lining is in all of this is that we put a pause on what's necessary and what really helps, rather than just doing one more event. So I'm kind of excited about what this gala opportunity virtually is going to offer, and we're going to try to make it as much fun for community as we can, depending on what March brings as far as regulations and things like that. So yeah, so we're fully engaged and moving forward.
Great.
So we usually have our fashion show in May. We have had a sewing program here at St. Hubert's for 79 years since the school opened.
Wow.
And yeah, it's
fun.
pretty incredible. So our students, they can take clothing and textiles is the name of the course as junior and senior. And we've had this past year was the first time we did not have the fashion show in a while. So we typically have two, one here in school for all the students, and then more of a gala one that highlights the seniors and the collections. The seniors make 3-piece collections. So we are exploring the possibility of having it outdoors. Hopefully, that may be an option. If not, if we do film it and then do it online, as an event, like I don't know, wine and cheese or something. It's a great event for the girls to showcase, their projects and what they've accomplished, but it's always been a really good fundraiser for us too. So if we're unable to do it online, outside, then hopefully we would be able to do something online. I don't know that it's realistic to expect that by May we're going to be able to have an indoor event here in Philly.
That's such a great, unique event. You'll have to share out the link once you get it. So
I will. We're the only school in the area, I believe, that still offers it. And we have a new teacher this year, and she actually graduated from St. Hubert's and went to Philadelphia University, which is now called Thomas Jefferson University, and majored in fashion design. So she's young, she's hip, she's got all great ideas. The girls love it. It's amazing to see the things that they can make. We've had girls make their own prom dresses over the years.
Wow. So, I'm just curious, Trish, have you ever tapped into one of the sewing companies like SewPro, Singer, to see if they would be willing to be a major sponsor?
So no, we haven't. And that's a great idea. We actually just got a grant from a foundation here in Philly to, our students have been hybrid. So half were in every other day. Now they're all home. And the grant allowed us to buy sewing machines so that when the girls are at home, they're able to use the same kind of machine as when they're here in school. So they can keep up with, because that's what happened last year. Everything came to a halt on March 13th when we shut down. So they never got to finish a lot of their projects. But that's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah. And just so that you know, SewPro is really good with community events. And by the way, I think it's their vice president is Catholic.
Oh, okay. You can send me their link if you would like. That would be wonderful.
Good tip.
Sure.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah. All the Catholic schools who are listening are now going to be calling SewPro.
Or Singer.
Why their phones are ringing off the hook now.
We have a sewing program here, so it's legit.
Yes, it is legit. Yeah,
yes,
it's amazing. And a long-standing one too. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I actually just finished an article for our annual report on challenging times, how when our school opened in 1941, it was World War II. And, comparing our students then to our students now, and in doing the research and digging through photos and books and newspapers, we have photos of when they were sewing back then. So,
wow.
So it's a big deal.
Awesome. I love that.
That's a great story to tell.
Yeah, it's fun.
Awesome. Well, good. Well, we're coming towards the end of our time here together. I'm going to go ahead just around the horn real quick and let everybody offer some closing thoughts. But I just want to say, especially to Paige, Rebecca, and Trish, it's really been great to have you on the show today and sharing all of your wisdom and experience with Giving Tuesday. Congratulations on all your success. Why don't we start with Paige? Paige, what would any closing thoughts for us?
I guess I just would share that, with the current situation, it definitely presents its challenges. But for us, when the pandemic hit in March, that's when our gala was scheduled. So we postponed it to May, and, we couldn't really afford to just go without it. So we made ours virtual, and it was we beat our record for our fund to need. So I just feel like during this time, although it's challenging, I feel like there are certain ways that, and especially things like this, are super helpful in getting ideas from local schools and what other places are doing. But I don't know, I guess in a weird way, this year has presented, I think, a challenging but yet really successful year in a strange way. You, like everyone's kind of spoken to, you don't really expect it, because I know businesses are being affected, and certainly families for us are struggling maybe for the tuition and things going on. But I'm just kind of overwhelmed by the support that has come from it. And I think it's kind of, in my personal role, just forced me to be more creative and find different strategies. And I think that's really a strong thing. And I guess to a very brief short story, when we were speaking to different events that are coming up in the last 6 months, we just finished an event last month, and I guess I'll just say real quick, it was a sip and paint event, but we had paint kits for women who were able to paint Van Gogh, and we had like a YouTube live stream, and we sold out. It was like 250 paint kits. People were able to drive to school and safely pick it up, but we also partnered with restaurants who were able to do takeout dinners. So we got to make it feel fancy from home. But again, it was an event that normally is really successful on campus. And it was equally successful this year. So I don't know, I guess just my last finishing thoughts are like, keep the faith and hold strong, because I'm finding that so far, each event that's played out, that's become virtual or has changed, has been equal, if not more so successful. So that's just my thoughts to everyone out there that's trying to find ideas.
Be brave. That's a great thought.
I love
Paige.
it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Thank you. Rebecca, how about you?
I would ditto everything Paige said. I think now is the opportunity for creativity that maybe hasn't come to light. For me, I just relish every month I meet with the other development representatives, small to K through 8 Catholic schools in the area. So we meet once a month on Zoom and share ideas and support each other. And it's not a competition. It's just, hey, what's going on? What's your event? There's one right down the street, but we still all meet together and really help each other and undergird each other and inspire creativity, so that we can each tell our own story within our community. And so I just encourage people to reach out and to help each other and partner together, because we are all in this together, and we each have something to offer our communities. And I think now is the time that change could really inspire and bring some new things. So
Great thoughts, Rebecca. Thank you. Trish?
I think if I've learned one thing with Giving Tuesday and asking for money over these last, almost 9 months now, it's to be real. Don't try and portray yourself as something that you're not. I mean, we're all living through this together. You guys are on the West Coast, I'm here on the East Coast. We're all in the same situation. And I think our donors know that, our supporters know that. Yeah. One phrase we used for Giving Tuesday was that our students, we told them to smile with their eyes. You can't see a smile behind a mask, but we kept telling the girls, people can see it in your eyes. So, make sure you're communicating a good message to people, and don't be afraid to ask. People want to make a difference. People want to be able to help and do something, and give them a good reason to support. Share your story, share your students, and hopefully the good news will come to you.
Well said.
Good advice.
Well said, everyone. Anna? Oh, I did send you all the attachment. With the line. Okay, so you all have that. Jim and Fred, you have that as well. One of the, I really love hearing how you all articulated what kind of year it's been in terms of fundraising, little tidbits, little takeaways from that. I really like that. And you're right. You punctuated it at the end, Trish, where ask, it's so basic. Yeah, just asking. Because we've all heard it, there are folks out there whose need is to be needed. And I think that rings especially true during the last 9 months. I'm a president of a nonprofit, a small grassroots, and I sent a letter back in April I don't think I've had, I think we raised more money this year, scholarships for high school seniors, than we've had ever. And it's just amazing that folks just easily, sent money via PayPal or wrote checks. It was really great to see folks just give. So yeah, thanks everybody. Great discussion.
Great points. And last but not least, Fred.
All right. Well, I thought I'd share one of the interesting tidbits that I came across was that Giving Tuesday is GuideStar's busiest day of the year. So that tells us a couple things that we should take note of. Number one is our donors are pretty sharp. They're doing their research.
Yeah.
And number two, and just as importantly, they're ready to give. So I think to really utilize Giving Tuesday to its fullest, it will have a great benefit for our Catholic organizations. But also beyond the potential for fundraising, another great thing about Giving Tuesday is the opportunity for donors to get involved and support the organizations and causes that they really care about. So, all those things together, I think, makes Giving Tuesday really a wonderful opportunity. And I just enjoyed hearing all the ways that the folks today are taking advantage of it.
Thanks, Fred.
Thank you.
I just want to thank all of you for a great conversation. I think anybody who's listening couldn't help but come away with at least 5 new ideas that they haven't heard before. I mean, I learned a lot today just listening from all of you. This is a constantly changing platform, right? And I think this year, above all other years, has been a time for all of us to learn something new. In some ways, we're learning new things, but in other ways, I think we're reaffirming those best practices that we always knew, which is being in front of our donors, telling our story, making sure that we're staying close to the people who are supporting us, and just continuing to give them a reason to give. And I think all of you are doing that, and that plays out in the numbers and the ways in which that you're being successful. In a special way, I also want to thank the Archdiocese of Seattle and the Fulcrum Foundation for gathering so many Seattle schools together today. That was tremendous. And especially to the Diocese of Allentown, Jessica, who pulled together some of our schools there. And of course, my friends in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Trish, always great to see you.
Good to see you.
Once again, we'll be back again next week for another Advancing Our Church live on Facebook. This episode you'll be able to find right away on Facebook, or we'll be releasing it again on our website on advancingourchurch.com on Monday. So again, from all of us at Changing Our World, thanks, and appreciate you all being on the show today. Have a great day.
God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless. Thanks so much.